Maniacs, welcome back to the channel. Your local bedhead here. We are going to be diving into Stephen King's Thinner. This is a Nostalgia Critic review, so if you're a big fan of Nostalgia Critic like myself, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and if you have not, go support the original video by going to the link into the description and clicking on it and going over there. I remember watching this back when I was a kid. Yeah, when I was probably about 12, 13 years old, I watched this film. And it was on TV, and I just thought it was weird. Even back then, I thought it was weird. Yeah, I saw this movie when I was 13, so the whole scene where he accidentally kills the girl. Basically, that's the whole synopsis. Is pretty much there's this heavyset guy who accidentally kills a local gypsy's daughter by accident. And basically, the way that this gypsy gets him back is he touches his face and says, "Thinner." And every day after the events of that accident, he progressively starts losing weight until eventually he is going to wither away and die. So it's up to this guy to go after this gypsy. What was it? White man from town. Yeah. We don't really have to avoid spoilers because, well, this is going to be a spoiler review. So if you like this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and let's go ahead and dive into Stephen King's Thinner by Nostalgia Critic. I dig it. I really appreciate the, I appreciate that, because I'm a big Halloween 3 fan.
Hello, I'm the Nostalgia Critic guy, remember? So you don't have to. There's only one way to wrap up Nostalgia-ween this year. You guessed it, it's Stephen King time!
Oh, yeah.
We've been talking about some of King's better movies and miniseries recently, ranging from not that bad to pretty decent to actually really good. But this year, let's return to some good old-fashioned trash. This fits the bill.
Oh my god. I don't mean to pause it, but it's probably the best time to pause it. Stephen King's Thinner is definitely not one of my favorite Stephen King movies. To me, it was just fine. There's more weird moments in it. There's actually some genuinely unsettling weird moments in it that actually kind of creep me out, especially that scene where he goes to the one guy's house and who had previously had a curse done to him by the old man. And he was trying to get information on the old man so he could try to break his curse. So he had to ask someone who's already experienced this stuff. And that was actually a creepy scene. I actually remember that quite a bit. Oof.
Thinner is the 1996 film that's such a good idea, it honestly should have written itself. A fat man is cursed by a gypsy after killing his daughter, which causes him to constantly lose weight. At first it's a blessing, but he eventually starts wasting away to nothing no matter how much food he eats. This could have been a supernatural character study or comedic commentary if it focused on how something as seemingly simple as a person's weight can completely alter someone's life. But much like M. Night Shyamalan, you can't just have 5 people stuck in an elevator with a killer. No. You have to have something bonkers, like make one of them the devil, and toast predicts the future, and all sorts of stupid crazy ass shit. By howdy, that's what this film does. We get goddamn animal people, mafia shootouts, exploding slingshots, rotting mutants. It gives into King's favorite flaw, tossing out ingeniously simple with craptastically complicated. Directed by the same guy who's given us a fair share of goofy horror. This film fails at being a decent suspense, but succeeds at being another balls-to-the-wall what the hell is going on experience. So let's take a look at another King hot mess.
Not one of Tom Holland's best.
This is gonna be so much fun to return to one of these. Thinner. We open on our main character, Billy Halleck, played by Robert John Burke, who's a lawyer and a family man about to defend a client supposedly in the mafia named Richie Ginelli, played by Joe Mantegna.
Well?
$2.97.
Billy, you were $2.97 last week.
Well, it takes some time for these diets to work.
I've been drinking as many Grimace shakes as I can.
You'll say this is justice. This is not justice.
Heidi, what are you doing to me?
What you always wanted me to do to you in the back seat of your father's car. I'm proving my love.
I'm just going through that 90s phase where thin, hot wives date doughy, weird husbands.
Promise, sweetheart.
I go to wipe out the Taglias in art science.
Okay, I can buy the daughter of a lawyer would be into Godfather, but if she's quoting it this much, she wouldn't look like a Saved by the Bell extra. She looked like one of the weirder side characters from Daria.
Has there ever been a price on your head prior to this current matter? Who was it that took a contract out on your life 3 years ago?
So I will say, for the time period, the fat suit isn't bad. There's definitely been some
No.
embarrassing ones over the years, but for 1996, this is decently done. Certainly less dated than the shtick
not
of the
bad. I
Monty
mean-
guy saying, "I owe you big time." No, really, he said.
I mean, seriously though, like the reality is, it's not horrible, but you definitely can notice it's added on, right? Like I think anybody can notice that, but it's not bad. It's not like your mind goes straight to that. But the makeup is obviously, you can tell it's makeup and obviously effects. Yeah, and that's not really, I'm not trying to slam it. I'm not trying to bash it, but you know, the point of doing makeup and stuff is to kind of make it to where it's not noticeable. Unfortunately, he's right though, at the time period, it's actually better than most of them, but it's still noticeable, I think.
That.
I'm still gonna owe you. Big time.
Maybe don't write lines that sound like movies you were mocking a second ago. So when does the great white shark attack this town anyway? This is the most supernatural things welcome suburb I've ever seen.
You got it, mister.
That's a good start.
You see that gypsy piece of ass down there? Give her this quarter. Tell her to raise her skirt.
I heard that. No, really, that's what they do. As soon as he gets down there, she does raise it up. 'Cause yeah, that'll show him.
Look at that disgusting display.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too, Hunchback of Notre
Prejudices,
Dame.
I guess our very Judge Claude Frollo too.
See what's going on here? We've been invaded by a bunch of filthy, thieving gypsies. They bring disease, crime, and prostitution. What kind of fun is that?
Fox News introduced me to a very good documentary about them. I know what they're up to. No, Mr. King, you're the wrong nutty professor. It's the Eddie Murphy one that comes out this year that we're trying to cash in on.
What do you look at? Nothing. Nothing.
And why do you portray us like Disney cartoons? Aren't you supposed to be a celebrated writer?
Still thinking about food?
Bill's wife starts to go down on him while he's driving, resulting in him crashing into the gypsy's daughter in a rather impressive stunt.
Yeah,
That was amazing! See if she can make me regurgitate something I didn't mean to swallow. Bill said
Didn't cut away. It was just that one shot.
Fortunate death.
So you're gonna totally get off?
There's nothing to get off from.
Wow, way to throw your wife under the tires.
I had a feeling that was
After
going to
the
happen.
gypsy, of course. At the hearing, everyone seems to be on Bill's side.
Was your breathalyzed?
Mr. Halleck was as sober as a judge.
Don't give me that. I'm drunk as hell and you know it. I find you all boring.
You drive.
He gets off without getting charged, obviously to the dismay of the gypsy's father. As Michael Constantine is the gypsy's father, even though he looks like an expired Buddy Hackett turning into a toasted marshmallow jelly bean.
Being gypsy, I will talk to your animals, and I was speaking to the sheep. Those liars don't believe a word.
Did you weigh yourself?
Yeah, I put on weight. Can't imagine why. Can't be the grocery aisle of chips you lay out for me every morning.
No shit, dude.
14 pounds in 7.
No shit. Look at all the stuff they have in their fridge and everything. How can you avoid eating that much junk food if it's all around you all the time? Throw some fruit in there. Do something. Something. You're like buying a bunch of Pepsi and buying bags and bags and bags and bags of potato chips. Oh, man.
Days.
He does start losing weight, though, despite his diet not changing in the slightest.
I give Billy $5 to run you over in that golf cart.
Give me a little kiss, sweetheart. Right here.
Right in this pillow, clearly shoved down my slacks. Yeah, despite the fatsuit being okay, the slimming makeup can sometimes be a little off. Like, look at this. He looks like Station from Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey.
That's over 40 pounds in 2 weeks?
The weight loss is happening so fast, though, his wife wants him to go to the doctor to get some tests.
Your blood work is 5/5. Cholesterol, triglycerides, down.
Your hex count is really high, but thankfully your midichlorians will balance that out. You're good. He even goes to
Use
get
the
new
word.
suits, maybe too much to the tailor's delight.
Well, let's do it.
Allow me to measure your crotch with my tongue this time. Jesus Christ, I was kidding. What the hell is seriously wrong
Yeah,
with
he's
this
really
dude?
getting close in there, isn't he?
What is it? I've tried all the others.
Eating chocolate, tongue-cleaning zippers. What's the secret, Gypsy Curse? Oh, I've been meaning to try that. I still hear it's safer than Atkins.
Is there such a thing as, like, male menopause?
What are you trying to say, Lynn?
Almost instantly, I guess Bill turns into an asshole. Which I guess makes sense, as he too is afraid he's losing weight too fast, but they don't really write him well as an asshole. Maybe part of it is he didn't have a ton of character before, but he was likable enough. Okay, he was no angel, but he was a bit of a goofball. He got along with his kid. He tried doing well by his wife. But literally, in one scene, we're supposed to suddenly see him as a monster. Even his family is acting like suddenly he's the worst thing ever.
I'm worried about you.
Eat all you want and still lose the weight.
I hate men's metabolism.
That's scary,
Should
actually.
I give a beer, I lose like 10 pounds.
Like, to be honest with you, as somebody who actually wants to be in really great shape, that concept is actually kind of scary. Like, no matter how much you shove in your face, you still will constantly lose weight. You will die at that rate. You will just die. And if there's no medical explanation, you will just die. It's weathering away until you're dead. Yeah, wow. Ugh.
Our bodies aren't fair.
As if it's my fault.
I'm sorry. Was I giving myself a blowjob just then?
I can't help if my snossage is irresistible. He asks his wife's doctor friend about seeing a specialist, but he doesn't have many answers either.
I'm not a tapeworm, in other words.
So, what does he recommend?
Well, for starters, getting makeup to look at your ear falling off. Is that part of the curse too?
Oh my God, never
Anyone
noticed
else
that.
involved with the hearing was affected too. He checks in on the judge.
Did the old man touch?
What does that have to do with...
Elizabeth Franz plays the judge's wife, as she has a ball with this short supporting role.
You need this.
Maybe because she picked up, she has to deliver some of the dumbest news early on.
He touched him, and then he whispered something in his ear.
What did he say?
Lizard.
What?
Turning into scales. His evolution in reverse.
I'm sorry, are we like 3 supervillain origin stories? Where the
No
hell
shit,
did
dude.
this come from?
His hands were like claws. His eyes were just like pieces of tinfoil. And his nose.
You know, usually I say it's creepier to describe a monster than to actually see it, but I don't know, I'm getting some serious Mondo Gecko vibes here. This is ridiculous.
Have a nice day at the Glassman, Billy. I hear the food's good.
No, really, it's only a few minutes, but this is up there with some of King's kookier performances. It's pretty great.
Yes, you tell me what you believe then. You hear me?
You should see what happened to my son. The gypsy went up to him and whispered, balls. You can guess where I went from there.
You tell me what you believe then. You tell me.
No more lizard hangers! Yeah, organized crime ought to fix this up.
Yeah, Billy, what can I do for you?
Do you believe gypsies can curse people?
Well, I was in Baby's Day Out. Does that count? Thank God the head of the mafia's mother just happens to be an expert on gypsy curses.
She says that whoever puts it on has to take it off. No one else can do it.
Oh,
my
yeah,
God, I missed this bad
coincidentally.
writing. I missed this bad writing. Oh, why was I wasting time on Quality King when I could have been watching? Oh, sure, the gangster's mother knows all about gypsies turning people into Rango. Why would you think that's a weird question? He goes to the cop's house, who was also part of the hearing, but it appears I fell victim to one of Cadet Francis's more unique pranks.
I want to find the old guy.
What, you think he put a curse on you?
Oh, yes, he whispered in my ear, Dick Tracy villain, and this is what God's colorful palette had in store for me.
Not bad makeup, though.
Find him, Billy.
We find out there was more of a cover-up than we were originally led to believe, with the 3 of them altering the facts to get Billy off the hook. The officer sees his time is over, so he begs Billy to put an end to the gypsy.
Snivel up to him and say, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm so sorry. Oh, gosh, I'm sorry.
The curse also turned him into drunk Goofy, I guess.
This freaked me out when I first saw it.
I am not an animal! I am a model for a Toxic Crusaders toy!
Yeah, it's odd that he mentions Toxic Avenger, because I was just thinking the makeup for this guy does remind me of the Toxic Avenger. I just wasn't saying it. Yeah, pretty accurate, actually. And that scene actually used to scare me. When I first saw it as a kid, the way he was shouting at him, I would hate to be in this situation, like have someone like this yelling at me, asking me to do something, and yeah, he does that. Crazy moment.
He also cursed me with explosive diarrhea. I was ironically constipated the week before. Billy returns home being driven more and more insane by his constant weight loss. And you know, he's missing out on the overacting. Why don't you throw him a bone movie?
I'm being erased.
Don't worry, Jim Carrey as the Riddler is clearly filling in for you. The next day, he sees the doctor's car at his house. Oh, he's just reacting to doctors flirting and backstabbing in Stephen King movies, as he's totally flirting with Bill's wife and backstabbing him.
What kind of legal action?
The kind that will force you to return to the Glassman Clinic before it's too late.
You're wasting away into a thin suit. I don't know what we call it. Bill leaves the
Yeah, that's what I meant by like some of the makeup is
literally eating chips while he drives. Okay, are you Theodore in the opening of Alvin and the Chipmunks? You literally always have to be seen with food.
Literally, that's yeah.
Wallace, Shawn Lloyd to find them. But it turns out there's a reward for his return, which seems a touch extreme, but not as extreme as the following scene. He puts together all carnies are gypsies and locates the old man to try and force him to reverse the curse. But this results in a slingshot chase. Don't worry, it gets sillier. As the Lizard Man shows up to give him a lift. Floor it, Pascal, before Daz the Menace to Society gets us! You and I are gonna get that gypsy bastard!
Look at his skin peeling off.
Oh my god, I'm high. Okay, to be fair, this is revealed to be a dream sequence. But again, there's literally lizard people and those things from Eye of the Beholder running around. It is kind of bad how easily you accepted that, right? Oh, but there is a
But I'm okay to do
dream,
so.
as Billy calls the judge's wife and discovers he's dead. And of course, she reveals it in the most bizarre way.
Can I speak with Carrie, please?
Carrie can't come to the phone right now. Yesterday, drove his Lincoln into a gas truck.
Okay, that's already a weird way to reveal that. Like, hey, can John come out to play? No, not today, he's dead. But listen to the follow-up.
A happy ending of sorts. He always did want to be cremated.
Is this lady like a gypsy spy? I never even heard that term
No
before.
shit.
But tell me it wouldn't be a thing in this universe. He tries calling home to get some support, but it looks like his wife is already getting support from the doctor.
She's in the kitchen with Dr. Houston.
What's Dr. Mikey doing there?
He's been here a lot. Why?
Jesus, I'm finally hot and now you have an affair on me?
Yeah.
He locates the Court of Miracles and demands the old man take the curse off him.
You got no business with us, white man from town, and we got no business with you.
Is he doing an impression of the daughter's impression of Brando earlier? What are we doing?
Duncan Hobley is dead. So is Gary Rossington.
That wasn't us, that was warlocks. They're always watering down our perfectly good curses.
I'm asking you nicely. Take it off before this goes any further.
No, just put some Windex on it, you'll be fine.
I curse you! The curse of the white man from town!
You already cursed us with your pumpkin spice lattes, your Christian rap, your whatever the hell's playing on E!
Oh man.
Daughter once again uses her slingshot because she's Huey, Dewey, and Louie, and he finally calls Mafia Man Richie to help him out.
Should have called me earlier, Billy.
And boy, does he not help him
You're
out.
even looking like a timeline for Gary Oldman's makeup effects. He puts signs up all over the place and even hires a random person to keep an eye on the gypsies, because as we all know, people in the Mafia rarely have helpers around. It sadly doesn't turn out well for him, though.
It's time for us to move on.
I'm surprised you're having such a calm reaction. I'm not gonna lie, I'm holding back a little. Jesus goddamn Christ! So I'm very impressed. Richie opens fire at them at night, which, after chickening a guy to death, you really should have had your guard up. Throw your curses at him!
No
And
shit.
I guess they
Dude,
don't
okay.
get
Okay, yeah, that's a good point. Like, you just got done proving that you were being spied on by possibly somebody, and then you like killed the guy, and then you sent him there. Why weren't you expecting something to happen? That makes no sense. Like, everybody should be on guard at this point. Even she kind of trusted him too soon.
good look as he poses as an FBI agent the next day.
It was him that was at this camp last night, wasn't it?
Would you mind accompanying me to identify him personally?
Would you mind if I convinced you a little bit more suspicious-like? But she eventually puts together, it's a trap!
Photo of the man we suspect attacked your camp.
It was you!
Arrest yourself immediately!
Richie, no!
He puts a glass of acid on her head. Yeah, clearly different from the acid King was doing when he wrote this. And the old man finally tells him how to be free of the evil possession. See, if you want to get rid of the curse, you have to give it to this pie.
You want to get rid of the curse, you got to give it to this pie.
Oh, wait, I was just kidding. Is that really the answer?
You give this pie with the curse inside to somebody else.
What is this? If the ring was a possessed pastry? Even Maximum Overdrive would be looking at this saying, no, really, King, what were you on when you came up with this?
First, you got to give it to this pie.
Now, when you say that, do you mean give it to the pie, or do you mean, like, give it to the pie? In this story, I believe either. He has to give the pie with the curse in it to someone else, which of course moves as cartoony as you would imagine.
Ugh.
Tom and Jerry's Mr. Hyde Milk was more subtle. And he gives the pie to his wife, which again seems really out of character.
Is it strawberry?
Uh-huh.
Really, that's my favorite.
I know.
Like, okay, she's cheating on him and everything, but Slingshot Girl constantly tried to kill him and he thought death was too far.
Richie, no.
Yeah,
So
it
when
does
did
seem
become
out of...
this awful.
Getting even's also what it's all about. You bitch.
He doesn't even have a hint of emotion when she dies horrifically the next morning.
Strawberry pie.
How is this supposed to be the same guy from before?
Yeah.
Again, he wasn't a good person per se, but he wasn't a straight up slasher villain. I believe Anakin pureeing younglings before I believe he'd come this far this fast.
I just had a piece of your pie for breakfast. It was delicious.
But his daughter comes home and eats the pie as well. Oh, what quippy evil line does he have about that? Oh, he actually cares about her randomly, so okay. So, in an attempt to save her, he decides to eat the pie, killing himself off and saving her. At least, that's what the original ending was. But the test audiences hated it so much that they added, I guess, a happier ending?
I was just gonna dig into a big slice of this breakfast pie. Here to join me.
Oh, thank goodness, both endings blow.
Yeah, well, actually, I actually would say that the first ending sounded better, in my opinion. I never liked the original ending, the one that they went with, where the doctor shows up and he's like, I was about to dive into this pie. Or maybe if they showed maybe he and the doctor both had a piece of the pie, well, no, then the doctor would have lived too, right? So I think the ending where he would have eaten the pie to save his daughter actually would have made more sense. But yeah, he's right. That whole character arc really kind of made no sense. It didn't feel like the same guy from the beginning of the movie. But he still showed that he was the same character from the guy in the beginning of the movie throughout the movie, especially when he was saving other people's lives. Like, you know, or other people would have killed a certain person, he would have been like, no, don't do it. But then, yeah, he does a 180 and kills his own wife at the end, which makes no sense. It just doesn't add up. And then he, like, kisses her dead corpse. It's just, yeah, odd.
And that was Thinner. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, it is.
On the one hand,
it
this
is.
could have been a goofy as hell, zany schlock fest like Sleepwalkers or, like I mentioned before, Maximum Overdrive. But it's stuck somewhere in between wanting to be a smart thriller and wanting to be a campy B-movie, and you really can't have it both ways on this one. The characters and tone are way too inconsistent, which makes the comedy confusing and the drama boring. It would have been fine if they just kept it simple and didn't throw in this complicated comic book shit that, for some reason, King often shoehorns in. Now, to be fair, I haven't read the story it was based on, so maybe this isn't King's fault as much as I think it is, but it sure does have the goofy trademarks of a lot of his other crazy works here. Like I said before, though, there are a lot of moments that are so batshit they can be pretty entertaining. Just not quite as entertaining as his other enjoyably bad library. When he's good, there's a lot of great stuff, but when he's bad, once in a while, a little bit of magic happens. And while that's definitely not the majority here, I will admit every once in a while, there are some good laughs. And that wraps up Nostalgia-ween! Really? Seem kind of underwhelming this year. Aren't these usually kind of bigger productions? You know, maybe it has something to do with that gypsy I hit with my car earlier this week. He whispered something to me and I can't remember what it was. Let me hit him again with my car to see exactly what he said. Hey, me again. What'd you whisper to me that one time? Shingo. Oh, right.
Oh!
His hands were like claws, and in his nose.
That's right. Yeah, he had shingles actually. Yeah, he got over them thankfully. But yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, talking about going back into this movie a little bit. It's definitely not one of his most memorable. And I think it is because it's so inconsistent with its characters, and the drama isn't really all that interesting because the characters aren't really all that interesting and inconsistent constantly. The writing itself, I think, is to blame for obviously everything that's wrong with Thinner. It's cartoony and weird, and then it tries to be serious and like a thriller, like he was pointing out. It really doesn't know where it wants to be on the spectrum. Like, and he's right, like comparing it to movies like Sleepwalkers, where it's just completely batshit 100% of the way through. This one is not really trying to be that. It's trying to be a pretty taken seriously Stephen King horror film, but for some reason it still decides to have that cartoony, over-the-top, silly aspect too, but it just doesn't hit as much as, let's say, the other ones do, where there's just more going on. But having said that, it's not also the worst of his. I've seen definitely worse. I would really love it if Nostalgia Critic did Late Night Shift or something along those lines. A Graveyard Shift. It's called Graveyard Shift. I would love it if he did that one. That's a good time, and it's over the top, crazy, silly. That one I would be so down for him to do. But anyways, guys, let me know in the comment section, what did you think of Thinner? Do you guys like it? Do you guys hate it? Are you it's just not for you? Let me know. Again, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll certainly see you guys in the next video. Do take care.
JCARTSARTS is throwing down, coming after me. If you can't stay, JCARTSARTS is through. You won't be mended.